Alright, here on the left you see, if I actually open it up, you see a bunch of children's books. These are pictures of the covers of the books. And they're all positioned nicely so that they all have the same square appearance. If you hover over a book, the border changes from blue to lime, and the MP3 that gives the title and the story starts being red. When I pull my mouse off of the image, it immediately stops reading the story. Then if I put the mouse back on the image again, it starts at the very beginning again. So let me show you how that works.
My mom has X-ray vision. My mom, my, my, my mom has Junie the Sleep. I love you. Princess Aladdin. Dragon was terrible. The Sleepy. Pippi's Extraordinary.
Okay, so you get the gist of that. And the same thing happens all the way to the bottom. 26 storybooks from the library. Alright, so let me move this off to the side. Let me go in my folder called Books, my folder called Book Read, and one of these HTML files gives us this output, and it's this one called hoverstories.html. So I'm going to right click it. I'm going to edit it with Notepad++ so we can go over the code. Now, each of these hoverstories.html reaches into this folder called box and accesses goodies in the box. Image link stories does the same thing, and I think select list audio does as well. But we're only going to go over this one particular interface, hoverstories.html. And again, what's in the box is the Smile bitmap, the various HTML files, the various JPEG pictures, and the various MP3 audio files for the stories. Airmail.html represents a web page for one of the books, and it gives me the picture of the cover of the book, and then it gives me this audio file below it, which starts automatically as soon as this page is opened. Okay, so let's go over the code. Opening HTML, opening head, opening and closing title tags with the title Hover Stories, which is seen up here in the tab of the browser. Then this link right here, link rel equals shortcut icon, href equals capitalized box / smile.bmp, type equals image / x icon. This code is what gives me my smile face up here next to the title in the browser tab. Now let's go over the CSS styles, which there's not very many. I've only got 3. I've got a class as represented by this dot called myImage, class myImage, and this is the style set for that. For class myImage, we have border set to 10 pixels, blue outset, and you can see until I hover over it, it's blue. The height is 145 pixels. The width is also 145 pixels. This gives each one of these book covers the same dimensions, when in real life all these books have slightly different sizes. Some of them are skinnier, some of them are fatter, but by setting my height and my width for my images like this with the class, I'm able to give it a consistent appearance. Also, I gave it a margin of 15 pixels, so there's a nice bit of space around each image, around each image's border. Okay, then I have a class myImage : hover, which, as you could see, when I hover over any of these, we get the change in the border color. So, border 10 pixels, lime outset. Lastly, I have, as indicated by the pound symbol, ID wrapper. These two up here, my image and my image hover, are classes, as indicated by the dots, and the pound wrapper means ID wrapper. So the element that has the ID wrapper has margin 0 pixels auto. Oh, here's margin twice. I don't need them twice. Okay. All of these styles. Each style stops at a semicolon. Margin is set to 0 pixels auto, width is set to 80%, border is set to thick black solid, background color is set to black, and text align is set to center. It's kind of strange to have a border set to thick black solid when the background color is also black. I don't really know why I did that. Oh well, I'll leave it with a little bit of a border and a background color for looks. Okay, so that's all of the styles, just 3 things being styled. So let's close up the style tags, let's look at the script. The script is exceptionally easy. It's a bunch of copy and paste of this, what's highlighted right now. var audio1 equals new audio, and in parentheses we have the path to the MP3 file. It's found in that box folder, which is capitalized. Dragon.mp3 is inside. This is going to be the story for this.
Dragon was terrible.
Okay? And we copy and paste this for every story or every product image that we are going to talk about. var audio2 equals new audio, parentheses, the path to the MP3, which is box/jasmine.mp3 in double quotes. So we do that all the way to the 26th MP3 file, which is the last story. var audio26 equals new audio, parentheses, the path in double quotes, box/zombolina.mp3. Then I've got this function here called function refresh page. Nothing in the parentheses, and in the curly braces we have window.location.reload, parentheses true. End of the script tag. Close up the script. Now let's look at the body elements. So here's our opening body tag. Div with the ID equals wrapper. This was one of the things that we styled in the style tag earlier. Div ID wrapper, which it gave us this black background and red border. Here, this is for each one of the stories. Input, type equals image, class equals my image. Remember, this is another thing that I talked about in my CSS styles. Dot my image means class my image. The source, this is the image source. Source equals, and then the path to the JPEG image, capitalized box/dragon.jpg. I originally was going to do this project using the on-click event when you click on the image, but what was happening was every time I clicked on an image, if I would move and click on another image before the story was done being read, they would read at the same time. The first one wouldn't stop, the second one would read, the first one would still read, the third one would read, and it would just sound like a jumble up mess. So I just misspelled the on-click event here, because once I figure out how to toggle appropriately from story to story, I prefer this project to be used with an on-click rather than a mouse over and a mouse out. Especially with young child. A young child is going to have too much fun going back and forth, making the colors change and listening to this noise, and not really listening to the story and keep the mouse over one image. I mean, I'm realistic, so for this particular thing, the on-click is a better idea. But until I get that code, I've actually accessed the on-mouse over and on-mouse out event. So for the on-mouse over event, it is set to audio1.play. And the on-mouse out event has 2 statements that execute. The first one is audio1.pause, and the second one is audio1.current time equals 0. Now, it's completely up to you. If you omit the audio1.current time equals 0 part, then when you mouse over this, it's going to read the story. When you mouse out, it's going to stop reading the story. It's going to pause. When you mouse in again, instead of starting at the very beginning, it's going to start wherever you left off. So depending on how you want your page to function, you may or may not want this. I think it makes more sense to go back and start at the beginning, but again, you might not want it to function like that. If you don't, then just leave this second part out. Just have audio1.pause. Okay, so then for every single one of these 26 stories, you've got to copy and paste this, and then just change the image and change this part from audio 1 to audio 2. Everywhere you see audio 1, change it to audio 2. Here's the second one. You see the only thing that's different is the name of the image and the audio 2 instead of audio 1. And we do this all the way to the end, over and over and over again. Here's the last one. Input type equals image, class equals my image, source equals box/Thumbelina.jpg, on mouse over equals audio26.play, on mouse out equals audio26.pause, and audio26.current time equals 0. You end your div tag, you end your body tag, you end your HTML tag, and with that, we've ended the video. We're done.